Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Kayla Lords
John Brownstone.
of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. It's almost, as of the time of recording, it's almost Valentine's Day.
It's creeping up.
We're not big Valentine's Day people.
No.
We tend to celebrate either early or late.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go out on Valentine's.
No.
We're not big into the chocolates and flowers kind of deal. Although I am here for February 15th when all the chocolate goes on sale. I love discounted candy. I don't care what the theme is. That being said, we have recently gotten our hands on some stuff and had some conversations about gifts and ideas and ways to celebrate. And I was like, but I want to show off some of this stuff and I kind of want to talk about it. So our thing tends to be that you should be showing your love and affection all year long. If we wait for one big day and put a lot of pressure on ourselves and this one day on the calendar to show how we truly feel, it's basically asking for disappointment. So we kind of suck at Valentine's Day, but that doesn't mean you have to suck at it. And we thought we'd go over some ideas of things that you can get for your significant other, do for your significant other, to make Valentine's special, especially if maybe you're still in a new relationship and you're like, yeah, but this is our holiday. Okay, well, let's sex it up, kink it up in a way that is not necessarily the same old thing. So the very first thing doesn't require money. Everything else after this will require money, but this first one does not require money. We are all kinksters around here. If you are in some kind of relationship and would like to mark the day that is Valentine's Day, this one's easy, to me at least. Plan a kink scene.
There you go.
My thought goes one of two ways. Either this is a great time to maybe experiment with something new that you've been investigating and exploring and are ready to try a scene with. But if that feels like too much pressure, and I don't blame you, then do an old favorite. Do something comforting. Do something that brings you together and connects you. If you had to plan a scene right now, what comes to mind? What would you do?
Right off the bat, pull out a flogger, paddle. See? Made your heart flutter, didn't it?
It did make my heart and other things fluttered as well. Saying other things did flutter. But see, and that's an old comfort for us. Those are favorites of ours. And I get that at holidays centered around gift giving, that whatever you do should be new and unique and special. But quite frankly, if you want to tell me you love me without having to actually say the words, please say the words. I appreciate it. But a flogger and a paddle is it. That's all I need. I'm like, I am loved and cared for on this, the second most commercial of all holidays.
Yeah.
It's so commercialized that it's easy to put the pressure on yourself to do a bunch of new things. I would also maybe lean away from a brand new kink, like you just heard about it online 2 days ago. Valentine's Day or your celebration day is probably not the day to try that. But I could see it being the day that maybe you talk about it and you experiment with it and you shop for it if it requires gear. But I wouldn't pin all your hopes on hitting subspace on this brand new kink that you're the first time you're ever going to experience it is Valentine's. Don't do that to yourself.
Trying something like that on a special day like that kind of goes back to putting the pressure on.
Right. Let's just relax. Let's just,
enjoy and be in the moment.
Right. If you're going to celebrate the holiday at all, I promise you on Valentine's Day, it'll be midday before one of us goes, oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day. We have been saving a gift card we got for Christmas from a family member to a restaurant. That is our Valentine's Day date dinner, and we will go either the week before or the week after. We will not go anywhere near the actual. It's too busy.
Yeah.
I'm too socially anxious. That's too aggravating. I also don't want to be aggravated on what is supposed to be a holiday of love.
I mean, I'm not fond of the lines and the crowds either at that, on a day like that.
No, you either have to make reservations or you've got at least a 45-minute wait, or you're going to eat at 4 in the afternoon to avoid. And none of that sounds fun to me. Now, if any of that sounds fun to you, you should do that. But that's not us. So yeah, we're really laid back. So next comes the stuff I really wanted to just talk about and I wanted to show off, and I was like, how, when, okay, so now we're moving into some actual gift ideas if this appeals. And part of the reason it won't appeal to everybody, but they appeal to me. So somebody out there is like me, I'm sure. The first is for the reader in your life. You and I are readers. We are total readers. I have a stack back here.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to pull them up if somebody will stop fingering the books. We love erotic anthologies, if you can't tell. Some of these we've purchased. Some of these were sent to us. One of them is not even available for purchase yet. That would be Best Lesbian Erotica of the Year, Volume 6. I also have Volume 5. 1 through 4 are also online. We've got here Bondage Bites, a brand new one that just came out called Coming Soon, and then that one we talked
Cheeky
about.
Spanking story is near and dear to my heart.
We talked about that during Kinky Book Club last year. We have an ebook one that is Sweet and Rough Queer Kink Erotica. When it comes to erotic anthologies, the sky is the absolute limit. Some are traditionally published, like these from Cleese Press. Some are in indie published. Some are self-published. Like, you can find anything and everything and nearly any topic. There's tons of kinky stuff. They're all sexy. They're erotic. I believe there's one in the works right now. It's not released and available yet. That is centered on queer experiences specifically, maybe trans experiences specifically. The Best Lesbian Erotica, at least the newest volumes, are not just cis women and lesbian experiences with other cis women. That's very queer as well. So why an erotic anthology? Bite-sized sex. Also, I personally get turned on reading sexy stories.
Exactly. For some people, it gets the motor running. It can be it can be kind of a mental foreplay.
Yes. In before my kinky times, I read these kinds of things so that I could get turned on, because it was a bad moment. That's why I was divorced eventually. Anyway, the other thing I like about erotic anthologies of any sort under any genre, if you're buying a book as a gift, you know your person is a book reader, you know kind of what genre they like to read. It's probably the safest option. Unless a person who loves books says, I want this book by this author, and this is exactly what will make me happy, or you've watched them pine over and drool over books at Barnes & Noble or online, it's hard to buy a book for a reader. We tend to be kind of picky. But an anthology means that as long as you get the basic subject right, Bondage Bites, there's going to be something in there that they'll probably like.
Yes.
And for erotica and sexy, smutty things, we don't have to go through world building. We don't have to go through a slow burn of will they, won't they. Many erotic anthologies, within the first 100 words, somebody's naked. They just are. Something sexy happening, something kinky's happening, something. And yeah, we have a collection. We have a big collection.
Yeah, we do.
So we will link to these specific anthologies down below if you are interested in any of them. But if you go online to whatever your favorite book retailer is, we know many people use Amazon, but there's also bookshop.org and many others. And you type in anthology and then the genre, erotica, fantasy, sci-fi, it's there. Erotica, especially since we are talking about the sex-related holiday of the year, insert eye roll if you need to, it's fine. There are tons. There are tons. And some of the ones, when I was looking online for about the ones we have, some are also audiobooks. So if your person's not a reader, they're a listener, and you want to help maybe get them in the mood, if that's a thing they're willing to listen to, I'm just saying, audiobooks are available. That's a thing. I like erotic anthologies in general because when I get to try new authors, find new authors, I get bite-sized sex. And when my libido has been at its lowest, I could still read something. And if it was a story that I could get immersed into, I could still get turned on. And sometimes you just want to be reminded that it all works, that you still have that ability when you've gone without for any amount of time. Do you have any favorites? Do you have any favorites out of what we have? Do you have any, because you read, y'all, do not think just cis women read smut and erotica and anthologies or longer form stories. You read a lot. You read a lot in general, but you read a lot of smut. Do you have any preferences?
Well, right at the top of my list, obviously, is anything spanking related.
Yes. Yes.
That goes right to the top. Books like the Bondage Bites, bondage, and bring it on, bring it on.
I tend to I like BDSM erotica, but I'm picky about it. So if it ever throws me out of my head where I have a jarring moment of, wait, how did we get from point A to point B? Wait, what did they just say to that person? I'm less excited about it. But sort of general erotica where it's not necessarily kinky, but it's gonna be sexy, love it, love it, love it. The other thing is, and the anthologies we have, the only one I have not read yet is edited by Allison Tyler. I have not read any anthologies edited by her, but I have read anthologies edited by Sinclair Sexsmith and Rachel Kramer Bussell. I trust them.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact that Rachel works really hard to, one, find newer writers that have not been published in her anthologies in the past, and tries to get a really diverse cast of authors, so the stories are more diverse.
I always enjoy anthologies put together by her. Anytime I see something new come up by her, I'm always looking, she curates some fantastic stories.
And Sinclair Sexsmith does too. In the Sweet and Rough anthology, they were actually all from Sinclair's perspective. So it was them as like the antagonist and the main person in the story centered around the sex. But even then, they were pretty diverse in how they talked about the experiences and how they presented. In the Best Lesbian, as an example, Erotica of the Year, and there are others that aren't just lesbian erotica, I was just looking through the list of authors, and I know some of them online, or I know of them, and it's another diverse cast of writers. So you're gonna get, that's another thing I like about anthologies. You get a diversity of viewpoints and ways of describing sex and types of sex, and every story will not connect, but for me to enjoy an anthology, I only need 2 or 3.
Right.
If I get 2 or 3 that I'm like, oh, hell yeah, then the book is a win for me.
That's all it takes.
Right. So, yeah, erotic anthologies, another thing. Okay. This video was primarily an excuse to show off this. It is Erotic Tarot. Intimate Intuition, illustrated by Sofie Birkin. I know nothing about tarot. Do you know anything about tarot?
No. I know a number of people who read tarot, but I know very little about it myself.
And I used to think that as fascinating as I found the cards and looking at it, and if I came across something online, I was like, wow, that's a really cool deck, or wow, that's really interesting. I always thought tarot was a little outside of my woo-woo comfort zone. I thought it was just one step too far for me. It does not mean there's anything wrong with it, and I wanted to be careful how we talked about it. One of the reasons I never bought any tarot cards is I was like, I don't want to disrespect somebody's like whole belief system by just randomly collecting tarot cards. And then I was listening to a podcast, a business podcast, y'all, but they include a lot of woo-woo into their stuff, and there's a lot of conversations about manifestation and intuition, and I was vibing with a lot of that.
Okay.
And they had a couple of episodes where they talked about tarot, and one particularly they actually had a tarot reader on, and that actually opened my eyes a bit, because I sort of, from my ignorance of not understanding it, I sort of thought tarot was, okay, you're kind of trying to tell your fortune or figure out where your life is going, and I was like, that's just, my brain can't go there. And then in the podcast episode I was listening to, the person was saying you don't use it as a way to necessarily as a way to tell you what to do next, but you can use it to help focus your own thoughts, focus your own desires, figure out what you want by using the cards to ask yourself the questions you most need to answer. And that put it back on, okay, the introspective side of what's going on with me. It's not this nameless, faceless universe out there directing my path, which I have some belief in that, but it's limited. It's more about, but what do I think, and what do I need to focus on at the moment? And maybe the universe pushes you because, a card got selected, but it focuses your thoughts. And I was like, I am here for it. So why erotic tarot? Well, 1, hello, we're talking about sexy things. 2, all of the images are illustrated, and they are beautiful.
They are.
They are absolutely gorgeous. They have the classical elements of what you associate with tarot. So there's the Fool and the Magician and the High Priestess, the High Priest, the Lovers, Temperance, Ace of Candles. Y'all, I am ignorant. I don't know what all of these things mean, but I do know beautiful imagery when I see it. And for anybody who's a little bit like me, where you're like, I'm kind of fascinated by tarot, but I don't know anything about it, there is a book, a guide to using the cards, which is also beautifully illustrated. And so you don't have to know exactly what you're doing to start exploring, and you can actually use the guide to help you out. When I was looking through the guide, it showed some different ways of placing the cards so you can do certain kinds of readings with yourself. And I was like, okay, thank you. Thank you, tarot cards, for making this easier for me.
Right.
And I'm sure most good tarot decks are like that, but these are just gorgeous, gorgeously illustrated. This could be the gift for the person in your life or for yourself who is absolutely into tarot. Know that you're into tarot, you love it, and you like collecting beautiful decks, and maybe an erotic focused one is exactly what you need. But also, I'll speak on my own behalf here. If you are someone, or your partner, somebody who's kind of interested, but been a little intimidated, wasn't sure what they would do, didn't, should we? I don't know. This is a beautiful one to start with.
Dip your toes in, yeah.
If it's a gift from you to them, there's something about that can be very encouraging. This has nothing to do with tarot or sex, but JB is an avid woodworker, very good at what he does, and even though he was interested in it, didn't take the first step that he needed. And then I bought him a gift card to a class. And as they say, the rest is history. Sometimes what we need from a partner that we care about and we know cares about us is that little push, that permission, that encouragement. And sometimes it's just, you say it, you support them, you're there for them. And sometimes you physically buy them the thing. So then they can stop using the excuse of, oh, well, I need to find the perfect one, the right one. How do I know this is the one I should spend my money on? Sometimes they can't spend their money on it, or they've got to make decisions financially that doesn't allow them to think, hey, I can indulge myself on this. A gift that gives your partner permission to explore a thing they have been interested in but haven't made first moves on yet, when you know them well enough to kind of know that it's safe to do this, that would be welcome from you. Highly recommend. I've gotten several people in my life into their hobbies because I went ahead as a gift and bought them the first gift card to the shop, or the first kit, or the first tool, or whatever. And I love that because, they take it and run with it. And I have just given them a hobby that probably cost them a lot of money after that. But it brings them joy. And it's me going, nudge, nudge, go try it. Go try it guilt-free, because you didn't spend your hard-earned money on it. And you won't think your money's been wasted.
And that's all it takes. Sometimes you just need that little nudge.
And if you are the partner who's like, I wish my partner would nudge me, talk about what you like. Let them know what you're interested in. Show them this video, even if it's just this clip right here. And don't be shy with the things that speak to you, the things that move you. You don't quite know where it'll go. And I am all for, as a baby girl at heart, I'm all for gift giving throughout a year. I don't think it needs to be specific to a day. I think if you have the means and you have the time and you have the ability, and it feels good to you to offer this up to a partner, just go ahead and do it when you can. Don't wait for one specific day. But I also understand, for many of us, sort of the meaning behind something like Valentine's Day. This is an opportunity to show your love in a way, whether it's a special dinner out, a special kinky scene, a special gift. And even if none of these gifts speak to you, highly recommend just listening to your partner, sometimes just asking them straight out. Hi, clear communication does not end at gift giving. Quite frankly, it should start there. And get them something that speaks to them. And I am here for these tarot cards. I need to sit down and read the booklet and try one of these things, and I don't even know the terminology for it. That's how, but they're beautiful. They're so beautiful. I also think I need to stop being so nervous, and even if I'm not completely into tarot, collect beautiful cards because they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able to look at them. I think that's reason enough. Okay, so would we be us if we didn't mention kink toys? Like beautiful tarot cards, sexy books, a kink scene. Great. We would be betraying our kinky selves if we didn't go, but also toys. Not gonna lie, total shameless self-promotion here. You are a kinky toy maker. We have a shop called The Kinkery, thekinkery.com, link below. Yeah. Toys are not a bad idea as long as you know what your partner's into. Like, you being into a kink and wanting a toy, you should totally get yourself a toy if you want, even if your partner's not into it. But getting a toy for a kink you're into and have never spoken to your partner about, and going, hey, happy Valentine's Day, I want to use this thing with you even though we've never had a conversation about it, and I don't know your limits, and I don't know if you're into it. If that works out and they're into it, consider yourselves lucky.
Really?
Consider
very
yourself
lucky.
Very lucky. If, however, you had plenty of conversations about the type of toy or the kink act, and you have an idea because you've done that communication and you know they're kind of into it or interested, kink toys, sex toys, go for it.
Right.
When in doubt, gift cards are always really, really safe. Let them pick out their own toy. What toys would you like to talk about? Owner of thekinkery.com.
What we like to call between ourselves the weapons of ass destruction.
I hope you're not new here because we love us some impact play.
Yeah.
Love us some impact play.
Absolutely. And that's pretty much what the Kinkery focuses on is impact play.
Paddles.
Canes. Evil sticks and all kinds of little slapsticks for just, getting someone's attention.
There's light impact play toys. There's heavy impact play toys.
Yeah.
There's the Bernie stingy, make you want to cry and say filthy words you're not supposed to say on
Absolutely.
YouTube. The whole idea is you don't have to buy toys from the Kinkery, but just like we talked about at the other gift giving times, you can give the gift of kink as long as you know that that's what your partner wants.
Yeah.
If you don't know, don't do it. Have the conversation first before you go spend your money, because either you're going to have high expectations and have spent some money and then be disappointed, or you're going to be resentful, or your partner's going to be like, well, I don't want this, I don't like this, and then they might feel either pressure to do something they don't like or not know how to let you down easy. Just avoid all of it. Have a conversation. That is true if you want to buy your partner a vibrator, a dildo, I don't care, a flogger, a whip. I don't care what it is. I don't care. Please do it if it makes sense for your relationship. Please skip it if you've never had a conversation about it before. Yeah. Unless you're prepared for it to really be your toy for you to use with other people. And if you're in that position, then buy yourself whatever makes you happy. But don't give your partner the gift of a kink toy, a sex toy, a whatever, with your expectations of how they should want to use it if you've never had a single conversation about it.
True.
Because that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, and it can be difficult to say, I don't want to do this. Or it can start an argument because the other person's like, what did you just do? This feels like a boundary violation. We've never had this conversation. And that then just ruins whatever moment you're trying to share. So if you're interested in toys, make sure you have the conversation first. If you aren't sure where to shop, we will link not just to the Kinkery, but to other places where we have purchased sex toys and kink gear before. So you can browse and shop, and most of the major retailers will probably have a Valentine's Day sale going on. So there's always that. But yeah, don't skip kink toys.
Absolutely not.
Kinky toys, sex toys are definitely gift material under the right circumstances.
There you go.
So those are some ideas. No money, plan a scene. Have a special moment. Let it be an old comfort or something kind of new and exciting. After that, think about the person. We love erotic anthologies for readers. I'm here for erotic tarot now, sexy tarot.
See?
Yes, please. Especially as a unique idea if your person is kind of interested but doesn't know where to start. There you go. And then, yes, kink toys, sex toys. Yes, again, under the right circumstances. Gift giving is meant, in my mind, to make the person receiving the gift happy. Yes. And yes, there is a kind of a selfish pleasure in picking out the thing, giving it to them, and seeing their happiness. But it only works if you think you're actually getting them something that they like based on the information that you have. True. And also, I would add, if you feel nothing but pressure at this, for Valentine's or any holiday to give a gift and it takes the joy out of it, have that conversation with your partner to manage expectations. But don't do it. If it doesn't work, if all it does is make one or both of you miserable, skip it. There should be no obligation to play along with Hallmark holidays and the capitalistic idea that we need to buy each other things to be happy. You don't have to play that game. If it doesn't bring you joy, let it go, I think is how that goes. How many things did I combine? Is Marie Kondo in Frozen? I don't know, but she should be now. So those are just some ideas and things we really wanted to show off, especially the tarot. If you have other suggestions, things that you've come across or done that worked out really well that you think other people might benefit from knowing, drop your gift suggestions in the comments below, especially if they don't cost money and it's more about the connection of the time. Could always use more ideas there. And if you are interested in any of the things we mentioned here, then definitely check out the links in the description box. That is it for us this time. If you enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And if once you subscribe, go ahead and ring that notification bell so you get updates of new content.
Sure, just do it, Daddy says. And if you really like what we do, want to help us do more of it, and get extra perks you can't get anywhere else, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/KaylaLords. Bye.